Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's I, the Reluctant Gringo, back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about Skull and Bones. We're going to review Skull and Bones. I had the opportunity to get into the open beta. It's not sponsored. I just dumped into it on my PS5, downloaded it last night. Got on about 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't stop playing until about 5 o'clock in the morning. And of course, this was the beta version, like I said. But I have to say, not much bugginess. Not any real glitches to talk of. I really didn't have any server issues, no disconnections, no lags, no nothing like that. I know some people had them earlier in the day, but it looks like those were fixed and developers fixed those real quick. I played around, like I said, for a long time. Overall, first impressions is I thought it was a really fun game, and then, really helped take the taste of Suicide Squad out of my mouth. Let me tell you, definitely something that really just helped kind of wipe that palate clean. So, but in the beginning, you start out, you're just dumped right into this huge naval battle, huge ships, British Navy. It's a really cool sequence. You have to get through after that, and you wash up on shore, and then you kind of start off on your own little journey, down at the bottom rung. You got to go through some MacGuffin hunts. It's part of their tutorial, teach you about the game, which I really preferred that over just a flat out tutorial that you get at the beginning of some games that really don't matter. No stakes, no nothing, just here's how to play the game. But the information flies by in this in these MacGuffin hunts, and sometimes the screens are a little too quick. They got a lot of words on them. You're like, oh, I didn't read all of that. Now I can't go back and see what they said. So they could have done a better job of slowing that down a little bit. But overall, I think as you get into the game, you got to put up with that first. If you're going to get into the game, you're going to play the game, it's going to be a little slow. You might feel a little frustrated because you're like, okay, well, how do I do this? How do we do that? You kind of work it out. But it goes step by step and gets really intuitive after a while. And then once you get going, you start like, oh, this is really cool. The gameplay felt really smooth. The sailing was awesome, especially the cannon battles. I loved how they integrated. Well, before we get that, is there plenty to do in a game like this? It's open world, and you got your contract missions for your storyline, which some people like the storyline, some people don't. I know it's not the centerpiece of the game, but I think it moves along. I think it's pretty good. It has a little bit of pirate lore and really adds to the atmosphere of it all, but it gives you something to do linear if you don't want to just do the whole open world stuff. But yeah, like I said, there's plenty to do. Once you get to that St. Anne's Island, you talk to the head pirate, you start getting those contract missions from the blacksmith and things like that. You start beginning to get into the open world. So you could go out and be an open world pirate and just do your thing, raising your infamy level to earn better ships and to earn better equipment, or you could do the contracts and they do the same thing, or you just do mix of both. It's great. I love the control that it gives to the user. Any game that says, okay, we're going to put something in that's going to give control to the user and add something to the user experience, you got to think of it as a positive. So definitely, really did like that. Like I said, if you don't want to do the contract missions, you can just get your ship and sail around and be a pirate, which is awesome. If there was a did not expect that moment that kind of made me smile as I'm sailing along, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? It's about 3 o'clock in the morning sailing along. I got my new ship and got my new crew, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, they all start singing a little pirate chanty. It was awesome. It was great. So I'm just sailing along and these guys are singing. It just really adds to the mood, and really the tone, really added to the tone for the rest of the time I was playing. It just, every little detail that they put in there. So like I said, I really like this game. I love the customization. So lots of detail, lots of research. I mean, definitely you can tell that the developers spent a lot of time researching. They really put their time into research, the ships, the sailing, the mechanics, the physics, the way they look, the way your clothes should look, the way they talk back in those different areas of the world, the way they, other players looked, other races looked, the tattoos, the scar, all that stuff. It's all there. I mean, the weapons, everything, and you can customize all sorts of stuff. Everything's customizable, and what the beauty of it is, I didn't have to pull out my wallet or my credit card for, I want that, but that's extra. Everything's in-game currency. You earn your silver doubloons, your gold doubloons. You can purchase that, but it's the in-game, just part of being in-game. So I love the fact that I didn't have to pull out my wallet for a microtransaction. Now, granted, like I said, it's the beta, and I'm sure things will get added, and that's to be expected. It's be profitable. But the accuracy with all their research, it's definitely there. And I can appreciate, no matter what the type of content it is, whether it's a video game or a movie or a book or whatever, when you see something that has that level of research and attention to detail put into it, what are you going to be like, oh, this is awesome, or hey, it was okay? I really appreciate that. I think when people go out of their way to say, let's be accurate instead of quick, let's be spot on and authentic instead of trying to do our own thing, it's something that makes me go, okay, cool. This is definitely worth a turn. But I think the dedication of doing something right instead of getting something quick, this game is really an example of that. Again, hats off to the developers. Hats off to Ubisoft in doing it that way. Like I said, you can customize yourself, you can customize your ship, you can customize your weapons, everything. Like I said, with in-game currency, I loved all that. Like I said, overall first impression, it was a fun game. I really had a lot of fun. The graphics looked good. The sound was good. I wasn't even playing with headphones. This is right off my TV stereo, my TV speakers, so it sounded great even then. Like I said, the mechanics and the physics of the sailing in different weather conditions, in different ocean currents, was spot on. It wasn't overly challenging, but it wasn't so easy, but it was there. You could feel it. You could feel it in the controller. I love the fast travel area. So if you're someone who's like, oh, I don't want to have to sail 4,000 miles or 4,000 kilometers, however, like if you're someone who doesn't want to spend all their time sailing and that kind of really getting into that pirate's life of just sailing and spending a good 4 or 5 minutes just sailing to your destination, when you go to a port, they have these fast travel sort of portals that you can use if you've earned the right to use them, and you can go to different. So it'll save you lots of time if sailing around's not your thing. The weapon controls were easy to learn to use, and I loved how they integrated it with the sailing, so you could sail your ship at a high speed and maintain weapon accuracy. Very, very intuitive. Wasn't overly difficult or complex. They didn't try to do too much with it. They said, okay, we're going to keep it easy. But like I said, once you kind of figure out, okay, I do this and I do that. Oh, that's easy. Okay. Like I said, very intuitive. After a while, it's a very intuitive game. The ambience felt like a pirate story. So it's like when you watch the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, it's like, oh, this feels like a pirate story. This game feels like a pirate story. The atmosphere is there. The NPCs and the AI characters you interact with are really well done in this regard. They trash talk to you. They'll swear at you if they think you're a lowlife, you do something bad or you die in the game. If you do something great, they'll cheer you on or say something nice. Again, lots of effort and research put into these characters and the way that they talk, the different language that they use, the different words that they're no longer part of anybody's vocabulary are there. So really great job doing that. Any negatives? So I did get a little confused. Like I said, I get a little stymied on a couple of contract missions where there was very little direction. And I'm a gamer who sometimes needs a little bit of direction. All right, we're going to get into that in a second. But I think the idea of using the map, they have this big map. The map was the one where I kind of like, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? What does this mean? I had a little trouble with that, deciphering all that and the destinations, figuring that out where so I think the objectives, like, oh, this is where your objective is. If you got a contract mission, I think it's a little bit easier, clearer to use in that regard. But once you figure it out, you realize that it's leading you a lot of the times instead of telling you. So again, once you get the hang of it, I like that. It kind of respecting the gamer's intelligence. Who knew? Like, again, after Suicide Squad, what a refreshing idea. Let's respect the person playing the game and their intelligence. Like, that's awesome. It could just be me too, but with these little nitpicky negatives. Hey, I make no bones about it. I'm a little older, so my skills as a gamer aren't that great. I'm not someone you're going to see professionally playing video games for money anytime soon. I'm a little older. Reflexes get a little slower. I'm the Nintendo Atari generation out there, everybody. So, I'm used to a joystick and a button, or maybe A, B, and up, down, left, right. PlayStation 5, which my kids encouraged me to, or basically my kids got for me and said, hey, Dad, you need something because you get bored. So PS5. A lot more buttons on these controllers. But anyways, neither here nor there. So again, no server issues. I know there were server issues. People, I've seen videos. It's a lot of people had server disconnections. I had none of that. No lag. It's the beta. It's the weekend, Super Bowl weekend, of course. So if you're looking forward to the Super Bowl, hope you have fun watching the Super Bowl. But this is a game. While you're waiting, you want to download this beta, get on it. I think you'll have fun. It's a free beta. So definitely get in. It's definitely a game that I'm enjoying. Some PvP action last night. Some people, they come around, they attack you, I attack them. Some battles. It's fun. But I think most of the time it's just you're just focused on being a pirate and building your ship. And there's a little bit of PvP action. I expect that when the game goes live in a few days, there's going to be a lot more PvP action on iCities with people just, being pirates. That's what we're there for. You want to be a pirate? This is the game for you. So I guess that's the only, I guess if there's a big criticism of the game right now, like I said, it's the slow start where you the MacGuffin hunts and whatnot, but they're necessary. Right. So they're necessary. There is a community option. You can, join up with people and, group up with people and have your both ships attack. And so there's that option. I haven't used that option yet, but again, I probably will sooner or later, as I do plan on purchasing this game. I mean, so again, definitely a fun game, definitely a game I'm enjoying, definitely a game I'm going to buy. I mean, as soon as I'm done with this video and recording this, I'm going to go hit the purchase button so it'll download immediately when it's available. I guess the other criticism, just some people don't like the whole material gathering. Yeah, you got to grind. Games like this, you're going to have to do a little bit of grinding. it's par for the course. So lots of material gathering, building up your infamy to get, unlock different ship builds and different weapon builds and different things like that. But when it gets to the point, that point where you got to do that, you dictate the pace. And I love that about this game. It gives the power and the control back to the user. It's really respecting the gamer, and I love that about this game. The pace is dictated by you and not the game. And that type of control, like I said, is very comfortable for someone like me who is, again, not the greatest gamer. So you can say to yourself, I'm going to run through the storyline missions and boom, 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 punch it out. Or you can be like me, I'm going to do a couple contract missions. I'm going to sail around and see who I can, screw around with. And maybe there's a couple of ships out there I can sink and loot them and just kind of explore. It's again, that open world feeling. I love it. So yes, again, I do plan on purchasing this game. If you're looking for an open world game and you're into pirates, look, this is the game for you, I think. And I know Black Flag was out there. People really like that. I think this is on the same level of enjoyment. Again, love the attention to detail. Love it, love it, love it. Love the little surprises. Love the graphics. Love the open world. And that's my review. If you've played the open beta, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you've been looking forward to Skull and Bones, let me know if you plan on purchasing it or if you're still on the fence. But again, love it. I love the community that's being built on this channel and people voicing their opinions. Again, I love everybody's opinion. Please let me hear it. And if you think I'm wrong, if you've played a beta and you think like, this isn't what I was expecting, let me know that too. Because again, I don't know everything. I'm just telling you what I think, what I feel. I'm reacting to how I played. I literally sat up 8 hours pounding out coffee and playing pirate games last night. So it was a lot of fun. Went to bed around, like I said, about 5 o'clock this morning. So here we are, Super Bowl weekend. Definitely a new game out there to download for you in a couple days when it goes live. Seal of approval from me. And with that, I am still your reluctant gringo, and from south of the border, salute and al huevo.